So sorry, guys. So I guess the network disrupted the first video I was doing concerning the problems of economic planning in West African country and the developing countries. So moving on. So moving on. So the classical economists strongly believe that government should not interfere in the economic activities so that the market can be perfectly competitive and thus maximize the national income. So this is known as laissez-faire policy. So that's their own belief. The classical economists strongly believe that the economic activity should be left for the private sectors. Should be left for the private sector so that the government should just, even if they want to interfere, should be at minimum, not fully uh, taking part in the economic activities. So they can just try to regulate some things. So so they believe that if the government stay away from economic activities, so the market could be perfectly competitive, and by so it will enhance the maximization of the national income. That's their own beliefs. And despite this belief, so in planning the economy, so in West Africa countries, so it has been very difficult for our government to get a perfect plan for the economy so that we can experience a booming economy. So, and these challenges, I'll be highlighting them. So, because it's just a brief discussion, I'll be highlighting them. So, and one of these challenges is the lack of competitive administrators. So, the administrators saddled with the responsibility of this economic planning. So we discovered that over the years, so most of these administrators are skill. Most of them are skill in the sense that they lack experience in technical fields, especially in the science and technology. So, and by this, so it has actually affected the economic planning in most of the West Africa countries. And the administrators in these countries lack coordinate experience, and in many cases they become preoccupied with corruption and corruption cases, yes, corruption cases and practices, and this has actually hindered the development of economic planning and the achievement of whatever economic planning the government put in place. And the second challenge, the second problem is the shortage of internal internal finance. Most of the government in the West Africa countries, they believe in sourcing fund from external capitals. So the funds they raise within the economy to finance the economy were actually not adequate. Even most of these countries, they were not even relying on an internal source of fund to finance their economy. They mostly rely on international funds like grants or loans from the international uh, capitals. So, and the condition that came with all these finances or loans from the external source were actually something that will surely break down the economy. So, so as we know that over dependency on foreign aid is what causes the main failure, major failure of the first development plan of Nigeria in 1962 to 1968. So relying on external aid will actually crumble the economy. And number three problem is a rapid crisis increase. So rapid crisis increase. So you know, in West Africa country, most of these West Africa countries are developing. So crises are forced to increase rapidly as a result of high rate of inflation. This also reflects in a very high cost of projects included in plans, which has a negative effect on the economy. So mostly, so the developing countries, they were formed to have high crime rate, because there's crime here and there. So with that, whatever the plan the government is putting in place to revamp its economy. So with the rapid increase in the crime rate, so it will actually hinder the achievement of whatever plan put in place. So number four, the another problem of this economic planning in West Africa countries is a political instability. You know, in most of these our West African countries, we so there is a change in government administration. So whatever plan the particular administration put in place to revamp its economy activities. So if another government came in, so they will try to uh, abandon the project or the programs. So they tend to initiate their whole plan or their home project rather than building on the initial project that is yet to be completed. So this political instability that actually hinder the economic planning in West Africa countries, most especially in Nigeria. So it's happening a lot in Nigeria. So this will be the short explanation on these problems. So I said one of the major problems is the lack of competent administrators for economic planning in West Africa country. The second problem is a shortage of internal finance. So the government tend to source finance from external source to finance their economic activities or to trying to revamp their economy with external finance, which was one of the reasons why the first national development plan crashed in 1962 to 1968. And the third aspect of the problem is a rapid crisis increase in the West Africa countries. So most of our West African countries, they are fond of uh, increase in crime rates. So and this will actually hinder the development of any economic plan put in place by their government. And the last one, which is the political instability. So due to change in the government administration, so whatever a particular government administration put in place to revamp the economy, so when another government or another government set in, so they will tend to abandon the project and set their own goal for their own administration rather than building on the existing plan that is still in place and is yet to be completed. So this has actually been the problems for uh, the economic planning in West Africa countries. So thank you. So whatever you suggest or maybe you think there are still some additional problems so that you believe are one of the causes of the breakdown in the economic planning in West African countries. So you can kindly please comment the problems in the comment section. So I will also try to make some research on that and to update uh, my my host here. So with that, so thank you for listening.